Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boost Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I'm actually sitting out here at the fish pond, trying out my new microphone to see how well the sound quality is with the extra noise. That, and it's about 70 degrees outside here, and I'm enjoying this. I'm sitting here kind of in the dark. I mean, the fish pond is illuminated and the fishies are swimming around a little bit, which is nice. But I'm out here in the dark because I don't really know what the hell the Dallas Cowboys are doing. The Dallas Cowboys have left us as fans in the dark on their real moves. I was uploading a video where, shout out to my brother from another mother, Law Nation did a video breaking down every pass play and the plays that Amari Cooper supposedly gave up on. And when you watch that video, you look at that and say, he didn't give up. If you were saying that Amari Cooper should be cut because he didn't block, then you should have also said that Deion Sanders should have been cut because he didn't tackle. That's one of those things that they're trying to justify that they just don't like the guy. And you're looking at, of course, Stephen Jones. If you listen to Stephen Jones, he doesn't really hide what he's doing. He pretty much lets you know what he's doing because this whole situation with Amari Cooper has felt like deja vu with Des Bryant. When he's talked about before about DeMarcus Lawrence and Amari Cooper, and when people asked him, "Are you going to cut him?" and he said, "There's a lot of moving parts here. We don't know." That was already the kiss of death. What they have done is they've now also too, because Amari Cooper, I don't know how you walk back what's already been said about the situation. I don't see that as a situation that can be repaired. And that's been the focal point. And now we're shifting gears because right now, tomorrow is the 7th, and we basically have 2 weeks. 2 weeks, contracts become fully guaranteed. And another person who's on that list is DeMarcus Lawrence. Allegedly, the Dallas Cowboys have asked DeMarcus Lawrence to take a pay cut. It's funny because just a few hours ago, we were talking about this in my live stream. And my thing is this. If you're DeMarcus Lawrence, the same guy that said, screw you, I'm not getting my shoulder worked on until you give me my money. If the Cowboys come back at him and say, we want you to take a pay cut, he's not going to take a pay cut. In fact, the NFLPA frowns upon guys taking pay cuts. Because here's the thing that's so funny to me. We as fans go through and say, they're not a team player. Well, guess what? The team is not a team player. Des Bryant signed a contract in good faith with the Dallas Cowboys. We're done with you. Okay. Amari Cooper signed a contract with the Dallas Cowboys. We're done with you. Carson Wentz signed a deal with the Eagles. We're done with you. So we always think that we should be loyal to the team, but the team's not loyal to the players. And so I don't ever get upset about the players trying to get paid. And so with DeMarcus Lawrence, who worked hard to get that contract, who did everything he could, giving his body for that, when they come to you and say, we'd like you to take a pay cut, I knew what the answer would be. Screw you, I'm not taking a pay cut. And apparently, that's exactly what DeMarcus Lawrence has said. I'm not taking a pay cut. And the word is being told, don't quote me on this. This is what I'm reporting is being reported. People go through and they say, well, you weren't the first to say it. Of course I wasn't the first to say it. Unfortunately, I'm not at every team in the locker room there where they tell me everything that's going on. The reality is one or two people find out information and then it gets spread across. That's why the AP is what it is. It's the news source. Everybody goes to it and gets their information from them. Regardless of this, this is the beginning of the end of DeMarcus Lawrence being a Dallas Cowboy. He's played his last snaps. Now, how they deal with this is going to be a bigger question because there's two ways they can do this. His contract is $27 million cap hit. Understand this. His original contract was not scheduled to pay him $27 million this year. The reason why that number is as high as it is because the Dallas Cowboys have gone through and restructured the contract several times. When they tell you we can't afford it, it's because they couldn't afford other things they've done. I equate it to the Social Security system. We are now told all the time, well, Social Security is running out of money, so we need to get rid of it. The reason why Social Security is running out of money is not because of the money they paid for Social Security. It's running out of money because they use Social Security money for other things. And that's why the money's not there. They robbed Peter to pay Paul. So the Dallas Cowboys have been robbing Peter to pay Paul for years. And don't blame it all on Dak Prescott because they were robbing Peter back then before they ever paid Dak Prescott when he was only making $680,000. So they've restructured his deal several times. The reason why Zeke Elliott's number is $18 million this year is because they have restructured, and they did at the beginning of this year again, his deal several times. Dak Prescott, 2 years in, actually starting the second year, will have restructured his contract a second time. So when the Cowboys get cap relief like they did last year on Dak Prescott's contract, only paying him on the cap $17 million, and then this year $18 million, when the number balloons up and people will say, well, Dak Prescott is sucking up all the money, and that's why we can't pay anybody, understand his contract was not set to be that big number. It's because of the mismanagement and overpaying of other players that make the number that high. So, is D-Law overpaid? Well, you can look at it and say he's gotten $66 million over the last 3 seasons after getting that contract and has only produced 14 sacks, as opposed to Micah Parsons getting 13 sacks as a rookie on a rookie salary. You look at that and say, yeah, you're not getting the same value. So that's where we are. DeMarcus Lawrence, I can say probably with 98% certainty, will be cut by the Dallas Cowboys. They just can't pay him $27 million on the cap. Just can't. Will the Cowboys be hurt from that? I don't know if it will or won't. I think if you're going to do this, let me go back to it. You can make him an immediate cap cut and save $9 million of the 27. $9 million that you can use starting day one. Or you can make him a post-June 1st cut, in which case you have $19 million. But you can't use that money until the 1st of June. In my mind, if you're going to cut Amari, you cut Amari Cooper. You take that money now. Between him and Dak, that gives you $10 million right now to work with. More than likely, they're going to cut guys like Blake Jarwin, who will give you another $3 million. That gives you $13 million to work with. And there's some other guys out there, maybe Terrell Basham that gets cut, and so on. Cut those guys to get your cap room, to get under the cap, and deal with some of the other guys that you want to try and sign. You can backload some of these contracts if you're trying to do Randy Gregory or Dalton Schultz and things like that, to go ahead and give yourself some time. And then come June 1st, in the second round of free agency, when after the draft and after teams start having OTAs, they start to release some of the other players, fill in your roster with that $19 million that's there. So that's where we are, guys. Get used to a lot of things breaking over the next 2 weeks because free agency will start on the 14th. And we're going to see other players that are going to be signed as well as cut. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, I'm enjoying the weather, and I need to clean out all the leaves here in the pond. And I hope that the sound is pretty good. Peace.